What's up, movers? Go ahead and grab your mat. We're gonna do something super simple today, but it's gonna be for opening up your hip flexors, stretching out your hamstrings, and if you're working on splits, this might be helpful as well. So get down on your hands and knees. You're gonna start in a tabletop position. Take it back to down dog or child's pose, whichever you prefer. Hang out here, wiggle around. If you wanna progress, like I said, down dog, back to tabletop. Let's do this again. Take it back, press your hips back, palms into the floor, wiggle around. If you want to progress, lift your hips, triangle, downward dog. Take it down, back down to your knees, back down to tabletop. What we're gonna do is bring one foot forward. Open up your hip flexor by squeezing the glute of the leg that's behind you. You can keep your palms planted. If you want to come up, you can come up here. If it's too much pressure on your knee, go ahead and pause me. Grab a pillow, put it underneath, and resume. So you're gonna wanna squeeze the glute of the leg that's behind you to open up your hip flexor here. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. You can pulse. Pulsing is good to break up and warm up the fascia. Okay, you're gonna wanna come back down, hands on the floor. Take that foot, instead of taking it back around, I want you to extend it out and then take it back around. I'll repeat. You're from here, your foot is next to your hand, firmly planted on the ground with those palms. Extend, circle back around. We're gonna do this again. So bring that foot up, stay here, palms planted, circle, back around. And again, plant the foot next to your hand, extend outward, circle, back around. Now here in tabletop, I want you to go straight back and the other direction, come up and come back. Bring that knee back in, tabletop position, go ahead, back, to the side, and extend. Let's do two more here. Go ahead, take it back. Your big toes on the ground. Good. Now from tabletop position, I want you to do the same thing. Extend that leg backwards. And this side, try to come up a little bit more. How far can you come up? As you take your toe and draw almost a half circle. I want you to imagine that you're elongating your spine and you're drawing with your big toe a line, and it's gonna make a half circle. This is like 3/4, well, this is like 1/4 of a circle. This would be all the way, but I want you to just go as far as you can without moving into pain. There's our special guest, Coda. Go ahead and go back and forth, move at your own pace. Do two more here. Make a big giant circle, half circle here. Last one. Take it back, tabletop position. Good, I want you to come back. Foot, place next to your hand on the ground. Come up. Push your hips forward, squeeze the glute of the leg that's behind you. And this time what I want you to do is I want you to shift your weight backwards. Lift your toe so that it's pointing towards the sky. Keep the soft bend in your knee, but now I want you to lean forward. You're gonna feel it in your hamstring. Feel it in your hamstring, feel it in your hamstring. Come back up. Open up your hip flexor, squeeze your glute. When you shift your weight, take it backwards. Go ahead, extend your leg out, lift that toe towards the sky. I don't know what my socks looks like, and I'm so sorry about it. You're gonna feel it in your hamstrings. Keep your core engaged, keep breathing. Come back to this position one more time. Open up the hip flexor. You can move in your movement. Go ahead, lift that toe to the ceiling one last time. Extend that leg. Lean. Hinge at the hips, hinge at the waist. Come forward. Hamstring stretch. Good. Come back to this position. Back to tabletop. You can go all the way around. Extend your leg. Take it back. All right, we're going to combine. Draw a line straight back. Create your half circle as far as you can. Now I want you to lift the toe to the ceiling, and I want you to stand up on your knees, so when you're kneeling. And I want you to come forward with it if you can. Your hands can stay on the ground, actually. I think it's easier to stay on the ground first and foremost. Come forward so that you're supporting yourself with your hands. This is actually a good way to start. Support yourself with your palms. Come forward into what it would be like to have a side split, and then go ahead and lift yourself back up. Go ahead and bend that knee so you're back into our first position. Take your foot out, extend all the way around. And do that again. Draw a line straight back. Draw your half circle or as far as you can. You might only get to here. And if you do, that's fine. You're gonna come up. You're gonna see that your hips are still opening. We're still opening the hip flexors. I want you to open and extend with the foot, toe to the ceiling. Use your palms to plant them on the ground. Open, and you're gonna feel a really big stretch in your hips, your hip flexors, inner thighs. The less pressure you put on your palms and the more you put on your legs, on your foot, especially the heel of the foot that's before you, you're gonna feel it opening up your inner thighs and your hips. You put more weight on your hands, it's gonna be less on your bottom, so you can always use that. Come back, bring it all the way up. I want you to roll out your wrists here. Take a break, roll out your wrists. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. Essentially, while you're rolling out your wrists, I'll show you what this movement is gonna be able to create for you is a lot of elasticity, flexibility, range of motion in your hips so that you can come from this position, extend your foot straight out, lift it to the sky, and extend all the way down into your side split. Eventually, that is what the goal, because it's really important to open up the hip flexors, warm up the inner thighs, hamstring as well is involved here, and you're gonna wanna do a lot of range of motion movements, range of motion exercises to be able to get that elasticity within your hips. And I think that's a really good way. Extending your foot outward to open up those hip flexors, taking it back around. And even if you want to incorporate some fire hydrants, you go all the way around. Imagine you're drawing a gigantic circle with your kneecap all the way around. And you do both directions here. You go frontward with your knee and you go backward with your knee. You can incorporate those as well. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna move my mat. You guys are gonna catch your breath. You're gonna roll out your wrists. Grab a pillow if you did it before and you want a little bit of softness under your knee. I know it's a lot of pressure on the knee. I don't know how thick you guys' yoga mats are. This one is thin. Come up into tabletop position. All right, what I wanna do first is go ahead and take it back to child or down dog. We're gonna wiggle it out here. We've got 2 reps. If you wanna progress, come all the way up. Lift those hips, triangle, down dog, lower, come back to tabletop. Tabletop is our position of the day. Take it back one last time, child's pose. Wiggle it around, lift those hips if you wanna progress. Triangle, lower those hips, come back to tabletop. Put that foot next to your hand. We're working on the other side now. Keep your palms flat, keep that foot flat. Come up if you guys would like, and you're gonna engage the glute of the foot that is extended behind you now. So the tighter you squeeze your glute, the more you're gonna feel open your hip flexor on that side of the leg that's extended behind you. Go ahead and wiggle around in this position, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Good, I want you to take it out. Instead of going straight back, you extend here, draw a half circle, quarter circle, come back to tabletop. Let's do this again. Step that foot forward, lift yourself on up, hands on your hips, squeeze that glute, open up them hip flexors. Keep breathing, don't forget to breathe as you're moving, keep breathing. Good, plant your hands on the ground, core is engaged and tight, extend the legs straight out, open up those hip flexors, all the way around, draw a circle with your big toe. Good, back to tabletop. This time, draw a circle with your toe straight back and bring it quarter way around. Take it back, draw it back in. Draw it out, extend, back, and in. Let's do one more here. Draw out, to the side. Your hips are opening here. You're engaging your core, not using momentum. Good. What I want you to do now, step forward like we did the first time. Stand up, lift your toe to the sky. I'm gonna go to the side so you guys can see. Lift your toe to the side. You wanna zip up your core. Remember, don't forget to zip up that core. Lift your toe, extend your leg, hinge forward, hamstring stretch. Woo. This one gets me every time. No matter what, it gets me every time. Good, bring that foot back up. You can keep it planted. You want to stay here, we're going to do 2 more. So we're going to extend that leg out, soft knee, toe to the sky, or the ceiling, hinge. You can find some movement within movement, warm up your fascia. I don't know about you guys, but my hamstrings are screaming. It's really good to do this to warm up the lower body. If you guys want to come forward a little bit, you can, but just keep your core zipped up. You're engaging your glutes. Seriously, squeeze it. Last one here, you're going to go ahead and extend that leg outward, toe to the ceiling, hinge. Holy moly, you can also plant your hands on the ground. Modification would be to plant your hands so you have the stability to come forward into a hinge without putting too much pressure on either of your legs, your heel or your knee. Come back up, return to your starting position. We're gonna go ahead and do the split prep. Go ahead, tabletop position, go ahead, draw that circle back. Draw that line back. If you can do half a crescent, half a moon, or as far as you can, let's say we go here, this is kind of like 3/4 of a half. You're gonna come up. You're gonna put that toe to the sky. You're gonna go forward. Remember, your hands can stay planted for modification. Bring it forward. You're gonna feel a big opener in your inner thighs, in your hips. Okay, come back, bend your knee, extend your leg back out to where it was, and wrap it back around. Remember, you guys can go as far as you want. Don't move into pain. Draw that line straight back. Come around as far as is comfortable for you at the moment. Lift your toe to the ceiling. Extend. Go ahead, open up your hip. Put a lot of pressure into your palms if you want to give your knee and your heel a break. You can go down a little bit farther, go a little bit farther. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Breathe, bring it back in. Extend that toe, you're gonna point it, wrap it back around. We're gonna do one more time. I'm gonna show you what it will be like when you guys get to a split. So you're gonna go draw straight that line back, crescent, around. Maybe I only come this far and that's totally fine. I'm gonna keep my hands planted, modification, come forward. And maybe I'm not on the ground, I'm holding myself up, and it's a lot of work. We're also working the arms, the shoulders, the core, because our core is always engaged. So every single movement is an ab workout and you don't even know it. All right, if you guys want to progress, you lift the hands and you sit on the ground, and you're gonna feel it in your hips, you're gonna feel it in your hip flexors, adductors, abductors, inner thighs, hamstrings. Go ahead and plant those hands back down. If you guys are here, take a deep breath with me, wherever you are. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and lift with your hands. Point that toe, wrap it all the way back around, back to tabletop. Come up, roll out your wrists. Guys, good job. Thank you for joining me. Keep working on those splits. Keep working on that lower body, hip mobility. Range of motion is huge. We want to be able to bend down, bend over without injury as we grow up and as we age. As it gets colder outside, I know that I'm based right now in Pennsylvania and it is chilly. So keep moving with intention. Today's intention was to loosen up those hips, and I'm feeling a whole lot better. So thank you guys for being with me for this. Have a blessed day, and see you guys back here soon.